The UND Aviation U.S. Army ROTC flight program has been prepping young pilots for the Army for some time now.
I would love to do this program. I wonder if I can go take it up. Here to tell us more about the program and why it's so important is Elizabeth Burek. She's the Associate Dean of UND Aerospace, as well as ROTC Cadet Devin Wobbleton. To both of you, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. So just tell us, maybe everyone's not familiar with UND Aviation School, just tell us a little more about it.
So at the University of North Dakota, we do have an aviation program, the largest in the country, and we specialize in manned aviation, helicopter aviation, and unmanned aircraft systems.
Can you talk a little bit more, because we have, Devin with us. Talk a little bit about the partnership with ROTC then as well, and with the Army.
So it's a very exciting partnership that we're excited to bring back to the University of North Dakota. Through the support of Senator John Hoeven, we were able to find funding to help support ROTC cadets to flight train in preparation for when they commission with the U.S. Army.
Can you tell us a little bit about your experience? You told us in the break that you're a senior now.
Yes. So overall, my experience has been fantastic. I actually started freshman year with fixed wing, and now I transitioned to rotary wing with helicopters in senior year. We have some of the best flight instructors in the country, and I can attest to that. They are fantastic. Working with the weather we've had so far has been a wonderful experience.
So why did you make the change?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I did fixed wing. I liked it. I guess I just want to have a broader experience in aviation overall.
So are you going on flying every day? Is it mainly simulators?
We're doing mostly work inside the helicopters. I haven't done much simulator work yet. It's all based on the weather. So I have a few flights scheduled this week, but we'll see what the weather's like. So.
Wow.
And you mentioned this is a renewed program, so anything different from the past to now?
Yeah, the most exciting change is now we have a very large unmanned aircraft systems program, and the military are the leaders in using these platforms for various functions. So the students will not only get exposure flying helicopters, which is popular aircraft in the Army, but also the unmanned side. So when they commission with the Army, they're going to have a wealth of background in aviation.
This partnership it makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, why did it stop, and how hard was it to push to get this funding, to get it back?
It stopped when federal funding went away from a lot of programs around the country around 2010. There is a national shortage of pilots, not only in the commercial sector, but also in the military. So when we were able to secure funding to go forward, Army Cadet Command was very excited to bring the program back because, again, it helps train Army aviators before they step foot in Army training.
So for you out there watching, what are some other programs that you guys offer? Who else do you kind of go, hey, this would be a great opportunity for these kind of people?
Well, we've got a lot of great partnerships only with all the airlines in the country. We also have an amazing partner with Customs and Border Protection as well that takes both fixed wing, helicopter, and unmanned aircraft, and it kind of sets that pathway for students going into that sector of the industry. So it's a very exciting time in aviation and a lot of opportunities for young people in that field.
Can you talk a little bit as well about the partnership between the Army and UND and how it's really worked out in your favor as well?
So it's worked out in my favor. I have now the opportunity to fly more than I did before. Honestly, it's just working fantastic. Like said, it's kind of a no-brainer. The Army and aviation and preparing myself for aviation training. It's been working fantastic. It just kind of meshes with the curriculum we're working on.
So I want to know, what's the difference between flying a regular plane versus a helicopter and then going into the unmanned aircraft?
I haven't had much experience on unmanned aircraft, but just speaking for fixed wings and helicopters, the basic principles of flight are the same, but there's just a few controls here and there you kind of have to relearn. Such as?
Like, take me inside the cockpit.
Well, just one thing I remember, for instance, when you're taking off an aircraft, of course, you have to point up to the sky. If you're pointing down at the ground, you're going to have a bad day. In a helicopter, when you take off, you're supposed to point at the ground because that's how the lift works. So in the aircraft, you'd point up, and then in helicopters, you have like a 45-degree pointing down. And in the back of your mind, you're thinking, oh, I'm not supposed to be doing this, I'm going to crash, when you're actually getting away from the ground.
Wow, it's fascinating. Now, you guys have a big event coming up, March 19th?
Yeah, so March 19th is our kickoff. So again, this program just got in place for January of this year. So Senator Hoeven, Army Cadet Command, and the National Guard will be on site to sort of kick off in a public forum this exciting partnership.
And there's so many different programs within, we just say aviation, but there are so many different opportunities and directions that people could go into just because they're interested in aviation. How did they get more information or decide which direction they should go?
Well, definitely I'd encourage them to look at the website and set up a visit and come see what we're all about. And like I said, the invitation's open to you as well if you want to see what's happening up there.
Okay, Chris is ready to suit
I
up
am.
Yeah.
and get up in
I
the
want to try
air.
to land a helicopter. Is that hard to land a helicopter?
It's difficult, yes.
Uh-oh. All right, coming up on today's show, the madness is about to start. We're getting some menu ideas for the big tourney. Stick around.